week of Friday, May 19th, 2017, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and this week's show is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a beautiful gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, it's all included with your Squarespace website. Creating a site with Squarespace is easy. You can add and arrange your content and features with a click of a mouse, and you can use one of their best-in-class online stores and award-winning templates, customizable settings, and more, all without a single plugin. It's super easy.
Here's what else I'd like to say about Squarespace, because I've been waiting for us to get to talk about it again.
Yeah.
Here's what's interesting. You know how, like, with some things that just work perfectly, you can't get under the hood and mess with it too much because they, like... The cool thing about Squarespace is I have run into some very complex technical issues with the Squarespace site that I manage.
Yeah.
You can get like deep into the code and all of that kind of stuff and mess with it
If you want to.
but you don't have to. But I appreciate that because it's still still working.
They didn't
It's
dumb
the
it down
best of
for
both
you.
worlds.
Right.
Right. I can get in there and almost get to the zeros and ones. And they're pretty cool. They're just like, your website is your website, but at the same time, they're not going to let you destroy it.
You can even add a custom domain to your Squarespace website. They include it for free when you sign up for a year. Right now, Squarespace is offering Relevant Podcast listeners a special offer. You can start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter offer code RELEVANT to get 10% off your first purchase. There you go, 10% off.
That seems
enter
like-
offer code RELEVANT.
Why wouldn't you?
I use it.
Yeah.
Squarespace, set your website apart.
Oh.
I like it. Well, like I said, I'm your host, Cameron. Here with me in our Orlando studios, Eddie Big Cat Koffels.
Man, it's nice to see you.
Okay, this is going to be weird. Over there on the ones and twos, our stand-in producer,
Actually, can I change that?
John David Snavely.
I feel like just our producer.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I love Chandler in a way,
yeah.
but he's always been the stand-in for what I felt like was really JD's rightful throne.
Our creative director, John David Snavely, John David Harris, is filling in today because Chandler has mono, the kissing disease, or strep throat, or something.
Either way,
the same thing.
they're both very contagious, and I'll let the listeners speculate wildly about how he contracted it. That's what I've been doing all morning.
Over there on the Skype line from Leverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
And our special guest host today will be revealed soon.
Yeah, we can't. It's too exciting. I got to tell you, I barely slept last night because of this. Granted, I had
It's a big
Coke,
deal.
I had a Coke Zero pretty late.
It's a big deal.
But
Granted, I had strep throat, but
Right.
anyway. No sleep.
Chandler texted this morning that he wanted to be able to come in, and knowing that Jesse and I probably wouldn't believe him, he took a picture of the doctor's note and sent it, which Jesse immediately pointed out via text was clearly a forgery.
Here's what made me realize so quickly it was a forgery, that he felt the need to do it in the first place.
Right.
It's not like we were. It's okay. Here's the thing. It's not like we work at the Ford plant or something.
Right.
Like this big media company. You are his blood relative, and I talk to Chandler these days all the time, like on a personal level. I don't need, if he tells me he has strep throat, went to the doctor, I believe him. The fact that he needed to send the note was instant confirmation that he'd been up all night poorly forging this thing, by the way.
And I don't want to get into what he actually has, but it is
syphilis,
fraught with controversy.
Oh, and Cameron, let me say this. As someone who has, for various reasons I don't want to get into, been forced to forge my share of legal documents in my day,
Absolutely.
I can spot one a mile away.
Right.
And this was just.
I mean,
poor.
the doctor's name on it was Dr. Shelley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, first of all, who goes by their first name?
Well,
And maybe it was Roberta Shelley. I understand
That's
that.
true.
It could have been her last name, but
I think, Cameron, you know what happened? He was like typing it up and was like, I need a doctor's name, doctor, and he saw like the conch shell on his bookshelf. Perfect, Dr. Shelley. That's it. That's the doctor.
We have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, very controversial show. Rob Bell is joining us. I don't want to qualify it.
We don't have to. Everybody's like, why do you have to qualify Rob Bell? Well, we don't anymore. We're proud to have him as a guest. He's a good person.
He's a brilliant
But
thinker.
to be fair, his book is called "What Is the Bible?" Like I think he's leaning into the whole provocateur thing. I don't think he's got an issue with that.
What is
No
the Bible?
problem. Yeah, love wins. Isn't
It's
that what
really-
it
What
is?
is the Bible?
What is the Bible? See, it's about what word gets the enunciation.
Did he lowercase or uppercase the word Bible?
Well, the way he writes, everything is lowercase and
doesn't-
multiple line and no punctuation.
Doesn't even trust the The inerrancy of Scripture.
Yes, it is capitalized. At least in my notes it is.
Finally.
Rob Bell's coming later. And also, we are bringing you an excerpt of the debut episode of the Red Couch podcast with Propaganda and Alma.
I can't wait for this.
Yeah. It's
Like, I can't wait. Shauna's show was awesome. I love it. I can't wait for props.
So they will have guests join them throughout the season, but this first episode is just he and Alma, and so they are the guests on this week's show.
Yeah, they're the baseline. It's gonna be them, which is all you need, but they'll have other people on.
So that's exciting. So Rob Bell and Prop and Alma, it's a good show. It's like Prop's not sitting in today for the whole show, but we still have him.
Yeah.
The big reveal, other than that, the big reveal is our guest host. Our guest host for today's show. It, a while back we had an intrepid entertainment reporter named Tyler Huckabee.
I love him.
He went out on assignments throughout the year to various hot spots,
Blockbuster awards,
cultural happenings, and he would bring us the breaking celebrity news beat. And if you're a longtime listener, you remember the celebrity news roundup. Yeah. Here's what happened a couple of years ago. He went off on an assignment, but didn't tell us. We didn't know what happened, and all of a sudden,
no one thought to look either.
Yeah, we just kind of found new co-hosts. Like, just kind of, we never knew where Calvin. We don't know where Calvin is.
And now, on May 19th, 2017, it's time for
Celebrity News. Celebrity News. Celebrity News Roundup.
Tyler Huckabee is back.
Hey guys!
It's been you wandered out of the office in the year 2015 to do about a 90-second segment of Celebrity News Roundup, and we were all shocked to get the news that you were finally ready to file this report. I'm excited, but I'm also a little confused, as is Cameron and Eddie.
Are you okay?
What a time I have had. The sights, the smells, the glamour. Thanks for letting me come in like a wrecking ball for the first time since 2014 instead of consciously uncoupling from me. I know these delays can make you guys a bunch of madmen. So I appreciate you letting me back to being all about that bass, but that's not my business.
Tyler, wait, these references,
they're not.
They sound a little like they're from the year 2014.
Yeah, and 15 maybe. I mean, it was in the zeitgeist for a little bit, but
it has been an adventure, and I admit I am not as up on current popular culture events as I'd like to be, but oh man, did I come back with a scoop for you guys. As you know, I've been away on a top secret celebrity news scoop trying to land an interview with the infamous Matthew McConaughey. As we all know, Matthew McConaughey's career has seen better days and has recently hit a dead end after a slew of misguided rom-com roles that went belly up on the silver screen. His failure to launch a career serves as a warning to actors everywhere. I went off to Matthew McConaughey's private island getaway in the middle of the Pacific Ocean to ask the tough questions.
So that's where you've been. Okay.
What are your regrets? Can your career be saved? Why aren't you opening up the cargo hold on this ship? Why isn't anyone? These are the questions I've been screaming and scrawling into the strip's hole with my fingernails every day, 24 hours a day for the past 3 years, and it has been illuminating. Hey, did you guys know that you can eat suitcases? That's just one of the fun celebrity news tidbits I picked up on this exclusive sneak peek behind the curtain of one of Hollywood's biggest failures. Matthew McConaughey has Matthew McGonaway from a once sterling Hollywood career, and also from his private island, apparently leaving nobody behind to even check on one of his boats besides the vultures circling overhead. Will Matthew McConaughey ever recover? No. Will I ever recover? Also, no. Will I ever be a stowaway on a celebrity's private boat in an attempt to land an exclusive interview with a former star? Yes. Just as sure as there will definitely be a sequel to Johnny Depp's hotly anticipated comedy Mordecai. That's all for my scoop, guys. I appreciate you letting me come on to share this thing I've been working really hard on for the past couple of years.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
Well, that explains so
Wow.
much about where
Yeah,
Tyler's
I get
been.
it
Well,
now.
Tyler, we're glad to have you on. Thank you for coming back and filing the report.
Yeah,
We also
yeah.
want to invite you to stay on for the whole show.
We were working.
Well, I'd be happy to. And I was thinking, we can talk about this later, but I was thinking maybe cover of the print magazine with that one. And there's some scoops in there.
For sure.
Man, you really.
I have some photographs.
We
They
have-
are not of Mr. McConaughey, but they are something to see.
Oh my
The
Lord.
inner workings of an abandoned yacht. I can't wait to see it.
A slowly deteriorating, slowly rusting over yacht over the course of 3 years. It's good to be back, guys.
Do I ask how did you finally make it back from the island? Did somebody finally go visit the house or?
Rust works a lot faster than you would think on a private island with all the rain and the storm. Eventually, you can just kick your way out of. You can just kick down the door.
Oh, eventually. Hey, that's good.
That's the easy part. It's the getting back to civilization that ends up being that. That took well over half of the actual filing of this report.
Yeah.
I will say it does speak a little bit to kind of your whole new look because it is very Tom Hanks and
It's very Castaway.
right before he gets off the island.
It's
I
like
got
if Father
back
John
yesterday.
Misty
Right.
had a boat
right.
and was set adrift.
For those of you that can't see Tyler, it's a pretty
Well, look on Instagram.
Yeah, it's
that's one way to do it.
yeah, right.
Easiest.
It's a sizable beard that appears to
But like
have
a dirty beard.
yeah, like a measure of maintenance.
Yeah.
Hair is pulled back in
Because they're trimmed beards.
ponytail.
There are large beards, thick beards that people trim and
Right.
groom. Then there are beards like Tyler's.
Yeah, how's your life going, man?
I feel like I can be honest with you guys on this.
Okay.
On this, I'm kind of angling for my own podcast spinoff here. Just called Recovery. Because that's what I'm looking for. That's going to be the next stage of my professional career, I think.
Tyler, when you were developing your current look, did you have any role models that you were modeling yourself after?
Yes, but they're never the ones that people guess.
So it's
that
not
I
like
would be.
not you were. I just assume you're watching The Big Lebowski.
Yes. Yeah, that would be.
The dude.
It's like the dude with a beard, a haggard homeless beard.
It's that you guys all sound collectively like my wife right now. it's like finds it to be atrocious. Like 100%. Today, if I were to ask her to marry me, the answer would be no.
No,
Absolutely not.
But now that she's made the commitment, you can formally let yourself go.
Yeah, well, isn't that why
Like now
all,
that you're in the covenant of marriage, there's nothing preventing you.
isn't that
from
why
just
all
fully-
newlywed guys get fat? I mean,
Yeah, you're like,
oh,
"Ah."
sweet, got it.
Yeah, we're
The
fine.
game is up. You're starting a new game now.
Right. You're leaning on those
Yeah,
vows.
the new game is combating heart disease. It's just fending that off. Everything else is fair game, cosmetically.
The slow march of type 1 diabetes.
So when you said for better or for worse,
Yeah.
what were the parameters on that? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's my own little private game show.
Feels like you weren't thinking about this. Tyler, it is good to it's good to have you back. Like
Yeah. It's good
in
to
a
be
way.
back.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm concerned for you, but at least you're like under watch.
Yeah,
You should be
yeah.
concerned for me.
Yeah, it's
but I'm
good.
home.
Yeah.
I'm in Nashville.
Yeah.
Where there's good people here. People
Yeah.
are keeping an eye on me.
Yeah, yeah. Say hi to Chad for us.
Ironically, 24/7. They're keeping an eye on it. Court ordered supervision.
Yeah.
So
I got an
I'm
IV.
good. Great. Never been better. And my parole officer can confirm that.
Yeah.
Well, moving the show along, it's going to be a fun one this week. It is time for our weekly look back at culture and entertainment. It's time for,
In case you missed it.
well, in case you missed it, a live production of Jesus Christ Superstar is coming to primetime. There's been that trend of like Peter Pan, Hairspray, The Wiz.
Yeah.
This seems up your alley, Eddie.
I don't know. Like I watched them. They're fine. I liked Peter Pan. I thought that one was really good.
Yeah.
But just music. I mean, aren't you just glad in general that musical theater is playing live
A
on
new
network TV, or do you
generation
not really care?
can experience your love language.
I really like live TV,
Yeah.
live variety shows, all that live
Oh, well,
stuff.
there you go. Well, a live primetime version of Andrew Lloyd Webber's rock opera will air the evening of Easter Sunday, 2018, next year.
Who's in it?
The original 1970 musical, which is based on a very loose interpretation of the gospel story and the crucifixion of Christ. So, in good theming with today's podcast,
Good.
was extremely controversial at the time. It was even banned in South Africa after its release. The story is told from the perspective of Judas. And as with many entertainment industry takes on Bible stories, it was criticized by some for being blasphemous. I don't know who's in the new one.
I don't think they've officially cast it yet. But I think the bold move on NBC's part, like from a marketing perspective, it works really. It's intuitive to have this live on the evening of Easter Sunday. But I mean, that's the most holy day in the Christian calendar. I have no real opinion.
I think somebody over there just said, "Oh, Easter, Jesus, religion, live musical." They don't really realize that this was a controversial, blasphemous one to the devout.
Have you guys ever read this?
Yeah, no.
They're like, oh no, we shouldn't have announced
Jesus
that.
is in the title.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Who
how
would
about
you guys cast as musical Jesus in this?
I know.
Any hot takes there?
Yeah. I'm thinking about
Because I got mine.
Who?
Father John Misty, man.
That's what I was thinking.
Father John Misty would be. This is right up his alley. This is a win. This is a win across the board for him and for NBC.
Wow. I would like what was that guy that's so awesome that should have played James Bond? He was in
Idris Elba?
Yeah. That's who I want.
Can he sing?
Oh, he can
Father
sing.
John Misty?
He had a musical career for a this week.
Yeah, he can sing.
Wow.
In my heart, he can sing.
He's got some funk.
Yeah, I
It'd
think
be a different spin. I'm down.
In case you missed it, this week Bono said that he thinks Christian music needs more honesty.
Oh, that's who's going to play Jesus, isn't it?
Bono.
Yeah.
He's a little bit older than the Jesus in the story.
That's Kevin Max. That's not Bono.
They're all the same.
Oh, okay.
Don't you dare.
The YouTube frontman appears in a new video from Fuller Studio, and he wonders why so many heavy themes found prominently in the Psalms are missing in modern Christian music. Here is a clip.
This morning as an exercise, I went into Songs of Ascent, and I broke them down into different things. And I was amazed when I came up with, you have a song of peace, a song of protection, a song to a city, a song for mercy, a song of thanks, a song of security, a song of laughter, a song of hubris, who would expect that, a song of fun, a song of rage, a song of tears, a song of humility, song of searching, a song of unity, and this final song of blessing. I thought, okay, that's just the songs of ascent. Right. They had utility. And why is it in Christian music I can't find them? I would really like this conversation to unlock some artists. Sure. Because I think there's trapped artists. Yeah, well, I agree with you. And I'd like them to be untrapped.
Ooh, you know what's weird?
Come on now.
I hear what he's saying.
What would be one good thing?
Can I just do a data joke?
Sure.
All right, cool. The cool thing
Now's the appropriate time.
Yeah.
While we're letting Bono's depth about the scriptures sink in, please tell an irreverent joke. Eddie.
Okay, no problem. The weird thing was when I turned on my phone, it was already there in iTunes. I didn't have a choice.
That clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty dated.
U2.
Tyler's dying right now, though.
4 years ago, call it once. It's U2 joke back.
The clip that you just heard is from Fuller Theological Seminary's new series, Beyond the Psalms, which features conversations about the Old Testament book between Bono and Assistant Professor of Theology and Culture David Taylor.
Bono did a thing with Eugene Peterson with Fuller as well. They're doing neat content, and a lot of it's about Bono. So that's really great.
Yeah.
If Bono was playing Jesus and Jesus Christ Superstar, what would it sound like again?
That's too much. Like, just all whispery and airy and boring.
Eddie, I have to be honest. When you say, after hearing that, I have no idea. I'm very, very confused about what you're really going for.
But
there.
now my world's upside down.
In case you missed it, this week, John Christ, our buddy John Christ and Aaron Tuning, they want to help nerdy pastors in their new video, Swag Seminary. These are the guys who did the Church Hunters videos.
Oh, yeah.
John was on the show a couple weeks ago. It's hilarious. And So this is a new faux promotional clip for their program that turns out-of-touch church leaders into hipster Christian celebrities with the help of fashion advice, a crash course in pop culture references, and pastor-themed vitamin supplements. Here's a clip of their new video.
Let's hop on your social media. Let's take a look at that. There's a lot of things we can improve there. Doug, look, you posted an Instagram at a Kroger, okay?
Oh, bad news, Doug.
You don't shop at Kroger anymore, okay? Whole Foods and Trader Joe's is where you're gonna live.
Outdoor farmers markets photos do so well for your new brand. Doug, we gotta hook you up with a personal trainer. Are you a member of a gym?
It's real simple, okay? What we start with is the non-denominational multivitamin. That's just gonna give you a little bit more pep in your step, a little bit more energy on Sunday mornings. If you wanna go a step up from there, we have the Grow Shell Gummies. What that's gonna do for you is give a little more tone in the shoulders, make those sweaters fit a little tighter. Now, if you wanna go all the way, Furtick food.
I don't know, guys. I just want to preach. And you will, but first, hair and makeup. Doug, you're wearing a polo shirt tucked into your khakis.
Are you speaking at the Golf Pro Shop?
Tiger Woods, you not? I'm going to untuck it for you. We're going to start there. Okay?
First of all, the length of the shirt is a problem, okay?
Here's what we're going to do. You see this line right here?
That's a swag pastor staple.
We call it the straight and narrow.
You know, the funny thing about John's videos is like, I know I'm going to watch them, but I hesitate to click because I just know part of me is
Because
going
of
to...
your safe internet filter, your accountability filter.
Oh yeah, that blows up. I have to...
Yeah.
I have to
Take
really
that thing
subvert
down.
the process. But like, I just know it's going to be a little too right and like a piece of me is going to die. And I was just watching this and I'm like, oh, it's not really jokes. It's actually all true, even though it's funny.
Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, in case you missed it, this week it came out that Kendrick Lamar is officially the best reviewed artist of the 21st century.
Yes.
So using data from the album review aggregation site Metacritic, courts analyzed all modern pop music to determine who the best reviewed artists of the last 17 years are. And by a wide margin, Kendrick took the top spot, averaging a 94 on a scale of up to 100 for his 3 albums. Other notable entries on the rankings include Sufjan Stevens at number 4, Kanye West at number 5, Arcade Fire at number 7, Bon Iver at number 12, and The Roots at 14.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Yeah, all of the top 20 albums had an aggregated review score of at least 86. And for context, Nickelback's career score is 51, which I think is a lot higher than it should be. But
Yeah, I
really
mean,
generous.
if you're in school and you get a 51 on a test, like that is,
Right.
definite. That's a hard F.
Yeah,
right
you're-
there.
it's a hard F, but that means and doesn't that mean like more than half of the critics out there like Nickelback?
Yeah, that's like that's really
But they're not
awful,
zero
actually.
sum, right? Like it's not
Yeah.
like they're getting like you're
It's
talking
not-
like they averaged out
Right.
30 points. One person gave him an 80 who just like really loved Nickelback, and that bumps
Yeah.
the whole score up probably.
Yeah, well, I think it includes Canadian websites.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
that's the problem. If you filter those out, it's
yeah,
it's
it's like
it's in
num-
the negative somehow.
There you go. Hey, in case you missed it, now The Rock says he might want to run for president.
Why not?
The former pro wrestler who has become one of the world's biggest action movie stars was asked about his political aspirations by GQ, specifically if he'd ever run.
Sure.
And his answer was, quote, "I think that's a real possibility."
Yeah, why not?
He's the people's president.
Yeah.
So that echoes a response he told Vanity Fair when asked the same question last year, where he said, "I wouldn't rule it out." And so what he said to GQ, he said, "A year ago, it started coming out more and more. There was this real sense of earnestness, which made me go home and think. Let me really rethink my answer to make sure I'm giving the answer that's truthful and respectful. I didn't want to be flippant." So just as a reminder, though, in the film Idiocracy, a future United States is ruled by a muscle-bound former wrestler who is also named Dwayne.
But when would an entertainment show like that ever translate into reality? That could never happen.
Could never happen. How crazy would that be?
No.
Here's the crazy. Well, this is the curious thing about this is like, look, The Rock or Dwayne The Rock Johnson is like a beloved movie star
Right.
by audiences around the globe.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I'm a fan.
whenever someone enters politics, the people will. It's surprising how fast other people will turn on him. But what's interesting to me is The Rock is a registered Republican, and he spoke at the 2000 Republican National Convention. Right. So, I mean, he's been active in conservative politics. My question is this. If he became like the next Republican nominee for president, would conservative Christian leaders like the Jerry Falwell Jr.'s who get behind, a lot of conservative politicians, would he go arm in arm with The Rock? Because that to me would be the most interesting twist in this. To see The Rock speaking at Liberty University or whatever. Like, I'd be interested to see how like that type of conservative would react to a Rock presidency.
Well, I mean, I think Christians have proven that they don't care who the person is as long as they get certain legislation committed to. You know, so I think they would gladly link arms with whoever will give them what they want.
Wow.
But if Dwayne Johnson is running against an incumbent President Trump, do you think that people would flip over to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who have been, it's like some Christians who have been a little bit iffy on some of Trump's policies? They'd be like, well, The Rock doesn't seem as bad. So then you have like an honest flip.
Just think about that though, because it's not that far. It's not that far outside the realm of possibility that in a few years that a major political party in the United States of America, the two leading candidates would be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Donald Trump. Like, I'm not saying anything about them individually or their politics, but that is insane.
Well, number one, there's no way there will be a Republican run against Trump. I mean, if you're the incumbent president and can run again, you run again. I mean, I've never seen party split like that.
We're living in wild times.
That's true. Yeah, we are living in wild times. That's true.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is Reagan. I mean, Reagan was a beloved, popular actor who was a conservative, a economic conservative and ran and won in a, landslide.
Yeah, but he was a governor first.
But great.
So maybe
go get,
The Rock needs to be a governor.
Well, I mean, but our current president didn't.
Right.
He skipped a step.
I guess my thing is his lack of qualifications to be a president. I have nothing against The Rock. I like the Fast and Furious movies. It's nothing against them. It's just like now the people entering into politics, being political or having like military experience or even up to now, I think almost most presidents have had a law degree or something, from somewhere at some point in their life. It just seems now that the primary barrier of entry it may be level of fame coming in, even if that fame is unrelated to legislation or politics.
And it probably says something too, that as much as I try to stay above I try not to be affected by politics. We all try not to be. We try to keep a cool head on our shoulders. It says something that I hear Dwayne Johnson might run, and my initial thought is like, oh, he seems all right.
He's nice.
The question,
I like those movies.
He seems smart.
The question no one's asking is how we're going to be with Hulkamania as VP.
Right.
Because that's the real, I mean, I think we can all get our heads around The Rock. He's the best. And we're all going to vote for him, and he's totally the coolest.
Yeah.
But do you want another professional wrestler a heartbeat away from the
problem with like Hulk being the vice president is that we already know that he'll flip sides. I mean, he'll go rogue on you.
He'll do a heel turn.
He'll go rogue on you. You don't want that.
No, Eddie, what's more likely is we're looking at a Vin Diesel. We're looking at the Rock Diesel card.
Oh, trust me, they are in a feud.
No,
Vin Diesel's
you
not
can't do The Rock and Vin Diesel. That's like a Russian nesting doll. It's the same thing, just a smaller shape.
Right. You can't have two of the same thing.
Yeah.
You need somebody else. Who's somebody else in the Fast and Furious? Like,
Luda. It's ludicrous.
I think it's Luda.
It is Luda.
My money's on Luda.
I would vote for that ticket. I don't even
You would vote for The Rock and
Ludacris ticket.
Ludacris is great.
I would no. You need somebody who augments what The Rock. So if you can smell what The Rock is cooking,
yes,
you need somebody who's gonna like fill in the gaps or round it out a little.
What about
bit.
there are
Statham?
Michelle Rodriguez or something.
There it is.
Rodriguez.
That's a three-dimensional ticket.
Why are we doing a 2-man ticket?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Rock Rodriguez. Can you smell what America's cooking?
Done.
Love
All
it.
right. Well, that'll do it for.
In case you missed it.
Stay tuned. Up next, Slices.
Lead me through the night, pull me from the water, hold my hand as something turns me into you. Just see it through my eyes, love me like no other, hold my hand as something turns me into you.
You're listening to The War on Drugs. The song is Thinking of a Place. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Current Swell with It Ain't Right. that current swelling you have, it ain't right.
It is not right.
Okay, it's time for slices. What do you have, Jesse?
All right, I know we're running behind, but I have a two for. I'll keep both relatively quick. But
You don't
both
have
of
to
these
say
stories
that.
I
You
can't
always
not
bring-
discuss.
You always bring two slices. Just do it.
Okay, so a man in Austin by the name of Brandon Vesmar has filed a lawsuit against a woman who has asked to remain unnamed after the two went on a date. So Brandon took this young woman.
I don't think
to
this
see-
isn't a joking matter, man. I mean,
Yeah, dude.
lawsuits after a date.
This feels moderately inappropriate.
Well,
Hear him out. Hear him out.
let me explain what this lawsuit entails. He took her to see the film Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I've never seen those movies. I bet they're good.
During the film, this young lady took out her phone and began texting her friends.
Wait.
Brandon,
on a first date.
on a first date.
Why- well,
During
first
the
of all,
movie,
hold on,
though,
first
so it's
of
not
all,
like when they were at the dinner table.
Why would you take somebody to a movie on a first date? Isn't a first date to like talk and get to know the person and not stare quietly at a screen together?
I mean, it's
I
pretty
mean, I don't know. I don't know what preceded the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had probably
so possibly they had a dinner.
They just went to Olive Garden.
Okay.
And they
Yeah,
were going
For the purposes of the lawsuit, for the
Okay.
purposes, in the eyes of the law, they went to the movie. That's
Okay.
what's important.
Gotcha.
Right.
So he says he politely asked her to please stop texting. And then she kept texting. He said, if you're going to do that, please go outside and do that. She did go outside and left and never came back. She also drove that night and left Brandon abandoned at the theater. So he has filed a lawsuit for $17.31, the price of her ticket to see this film in 3D. Brandon is a man of principle here, okay? He only wants the ticket reimbursed, and that's why he was willing to file the lawsuit, which costs over $120. To recoup the
It's a matter of it's a matter of principle.
I need Brandon to just be quiet. Right.
The other thing is, I can't figure out why Brandon's still single.
Yeah. This is exactly right. It's like, listen, man, her texting in a movie theater, you just be quiet, man.
I mean, you're on a first date. I mean, aren't you trying to make a good impression?
Yeah, just try.
If you're crazy and neurotic, you hide that till date 3.
Right.
Yeah.
You at least.
So Cameron, okay. I want to put this in the hands of a judge and a jury of Brandon's peers right now. There are 3 of you. That's enough to decide who is entitled to the $17. Cameron, it sounds like you're leading on Brandon's side here.
No. No, I said if he's as crazy as that, he should have hidden that. He should have just let her text. I'm saying you're trying to make a first impression. You're trying to. Why in the world would he act like that? That's crazy. I think she is totally in the right. I like that she left. She ain't gonna put up with that mess.
No,
she is a strong, independent woman. She doesn't need.
I like it.
His
She needs
$17
in her life.
Yeah.
Yes, I would tell my daughters. I would say, please, first of all, please don't text in the movie theater. But also, if someone tells you, you just go away. Just forget it. Leave them.
Tyler, the vote's already decided, but I'm curious where you come out on this.
Oh,
because you seem
love-
like a man who wants to watch the latest comic book film uninterrupted by the very dim light of a phone.
Obviously, I like the movie a lot. But what I like more than Guardians of the Galaxy is a woman who knows what she wants to do.
That's right.
The fact that he said, if you're going to do that, just go outside and do it. And that she left. Presumably that means she drove there.
Yeah,
she did. She drove both of them there.
So Brandon, come on, man.
Yeah.
Well, first of all,
she's picking up at Brandon's house
why
with
is
her mom.
she driving on their first date?
Yeah.
There's a lot about Brandon. I will say for her, the moment he said, hey, can you come pick me up?
Yeah, you're done.
And people on Twitter are going to be like, I don't have a car and I live in a city.
Yeah,
nobody cares about what you're saying.
You Uber over and you be the gentleman and you open her car door.
Right.
I mean,
Right. You're not going to make her.
I'm all about gender.
She made the right move.
Gender equality 100%, but you have some chivalry and you be, respectable and you pick her up on your first date and you don't take her to the Olive Garden.
Yeah. Hey, Brandon or Brandon, whatever. It's a pretty hard name for me. If you're listening to this right now, you need to drop that lawsuit. Because this is all.
I see, Eddie, that's where we're wrong. I see this as the first case that makes it to the Supreme Court and President rocks America. And I think he will dismiss all the justices and lay down some cold, hard rock justice.
Ooh, President rocks America is a pretty decent slogan.
Yeah.
He hand selects court cases that he will personally try himself. And this is on the docket, case 1.
But this is where we get into some of the trouble of having President The Rock, because would he be unfairly tilted towards Hollywood?
Yeah.
Would there be a little bit of some emoluments there where he doesn't want people leaving the movies? Movies are what got Dwayne where he's at today.
But I'm fine with that.
I don't know where he'd come down on this one.
But he's arguably the most chivalrous man in Hollywood, you know?
Yeah,
I think it's
that's
fine.
a fair point. I don't know where he'd go on this one.
I don't know where the legal scholars, when it comes to the Rock rules.
Plus, Hollywood's the best. Have you seen Manchester by the Sea? That movie ruled.
Yeah.
So, fine, let him lean towards Hollywood.
It was super sad, though.
Yeah, it was super sad.
I don't think The Rock has
made
seen
me cry. I don't think The Rock has seen Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah, it made me cry. I actually cried during the movie.
Oh, yeah, I did too.
The Rock has only ever seen his own movies and Rocky one time on his wedding night. I don't even know fully what that meant, but it was the right thing to say.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, so finally, I just had to throw this out there. This is incredible news because I have long, as many people in our age range have long discussed, how awesome would it be to have a box of Lucky Charms that was only marshmallows. I mean, it prevents you from eating, because everyone attacks a bowl of Lucky Charms the exact same way.
It exists, dude. You can buy it on Amazon.
Yeah, we've bought those before.
We've bought them.
Not
People
the
have
real
sent
thing,
them to
though.
us.
Not the real thing.
You're right. They've been knockoffs.
Right.
They've been knockoffs.
Yeah. I'm talking because there's something about the Lucky Charms marshmallows that are very unique.
Okay.
It's one of the most distinct foods ever created by humans in a weird food lab. So, you no longer have to eat around the rice pieces. For that last sweet bite of delicious marshmallow in the soupy colored milk.
Are they made out of rice? They're not rice.
Or whatever they are. What are they made of? Cornflakes?
Wheat. I mean, it would be some sort of wheat flour situation. Like a little,
whatever they are. Whatever
who
they
knows?
are. You just power through them to get to the marshmallow.
That's true.
Yeah. So Lucky Charms will be giving away 10,000 boxes of marshmallow only Lucky Charms.
Giving away.
Yeah, so I have theories about this because it's like a contest. Like, you can buy a regular box of Lucky Charms, and there's it's basically like a Willy Wonka type of situation with a golden ticket. Like, there's codes that you go online and see if you're one of the winners to get one of the. I think it's probably because legally they're not allowed to sell a box of marshmallows that's just made to be consumed in a bowl. I think there's probably some FDA thing against that. So they're giving away the 10,000. Also, it doesn't come with a toy inside. It comes with a free insulin needle in case you need it after you wrap up. So.
That's crazy. Are you gonna?
I love this idea.
Yeah, there you go.
I've always dreamed about a pizza that's just the pepperoni, no bread. Like, they just put the cheese and sauce on a gigantic pepperoni and you eat it, because that's whatever, that's an all toppings pizza. I feel like more food companies need to go in this and just cut the stuff that no one wants on the meal in the first place.
Jesse, you would have, what if, I would think that President Rock is one of his major domestic agendas is going to be the health of the nation.
Yeah,
I could see that while he's an economic or a conservative, that he probably would regulate and legislate health restrictions, and things like this would be outlawed. And President Rock's America, what do you do?
Well, I will say this, as listeners know, I lean pretty libertarian, especially when it comes to food safety.
Right.
If I want to eat a box of all marshmallows, that's my God-given America right. And I will say this, if The Rock comes in and blows up that food pyramid one more time, so it's all raw eggs, steak, chicken breasts, and protein milk, I'm not having it. I will. The resistance will start with me when it comes to food regulation.
He was warned. He was given an explanation. Nevertheless, he persisted to eat himself into food coma.
Exactly. It's my body. I'm allowed to eat as many Hot Pockets as I want to. I don't need the president, be him The Rock or not, to tell me what I can and can't consume. That will cross the line for me. That will be a deal breaker. I will have to vote for someone else, let's say like an Andre the Giant type of character. So we'll see. We'll see where it shakes out.
I just want to add a place marker here, because somebody 10 years from now is listening to this show, and The Rock is president,
or an alien.
Yeah,
this is now forever going out into the universe,
and The Rock is president, and they're pretty upset about it. Like, we're just playing. because
they're upset about the new health regulations.
Things have gone really terrible in America. This has all actually come to fruition. I just want to say, as a moment in time, like we hear
he
your
literally
pain.
during the inauguration made, just for the visual metaphor and to remind everybody, had the swearing in on an actual large rock in front of the Capitol, and he wore the He-Man outfit. It was a very
like, we're sorry. We were just playing 10 years ago.
Yeah, we were just getting around.
He's also in a controversial move. He's dumped massive amounts of whey protein into the water filtration systems throughout the country.
Like fluoride.
Everybody in America, ocean. Everybody is super jacked right now in America.
Fluoride and whey is now, and chocolate whey powder is now pumping through America's pipes.
Well, that's how he fixed the water crisis in Michigan. You know, he just filled the pipes with
delicious creatine.
Because it seals any gaps. It's like the Fix-A-Flat stuff. You know, you blow it in and it's got like some gelatinous coating. It fixes your little flats,
all fixed,
little holes. And so that's how you fix the pipes.
Everybody in Flint is drinking
water towers are now brimming with creatine.
Healthy, fortified water.
It was the compromise on the pipeline situation. We're still going to build the pipeline, but it's going to be full of muscle milk. So everybody wins.
It's the most delicious spill ever.
If it spills, you just go lap it up and you put a solid inch onto your biceps. It's great.
You're literally now, we're all literally showering in protein powder. It rocks America is a wild place, guys. He's got some radical ideas and we very much regret electing him. But what is happening is happening.
The FDA changed the nutritional standards and now it's like every American is expected to eat 13,000 calories a day.
Right. Well, because
the FDA just becomes GNC. Like it's literally
good one.
Well, certain presidents go in and they fire the heads of a lot of maybe the EPA or something like that, or dismantle an organization. He goes in and single-handedly runs the FDA. That's right. Yeah. So he completely abolishes it and makes it just part of the Oval Office.
Right. Nothing's wrong. He's just a one-man band.
Yeah. He just decided to fix it himself.
Yeah.
You know, like when Michelle Obama implemented her like healthy lunch programs and people would like take pictures of their lunch trays with like French fries and stuff to be like, oh, this is why we need change. In the Rocks America, the lunch tray is just a power bar for every child every day. Just get them jacked.
But that one bar has every nutrient that child needs. Everybody's way healthier.
It's easily over 2,000. It's a day's worth of calories and a dangerous amount of protein, potentially lethal. But, we want to, make America strong again. That's his whole thing.
Well, he's trying to breed a generation of soldier like action heroes.
Exactly.
This is going to be
exactly.
I like him.
I like it. It's going to be great. Well intended. What do you have, Eddie?
Well, you guys know that I have had a long-standing love of all things avocado and guacamole, and we don't have to replay this. We know how much I love guacamole. But there has been a very interesting brouhaha lately. Pretty cool word to say. So Australia's 60 Minutes, which I guess is like American 60 Minutes, but just like really far away.
Kangaroos.
Yeah, really far away and really into John Travolta.
Right.
It's so dumb. So this millionaire appears on...
Is he even Australian?
No, but he like flew for Qantas Airlines, and for some reason, I guess Adam Smith too. I don't know. There's a lot happening. I should get on with the slice. So this millionaire said, when I was trying to buy my first home, I wasn't buying smashed avocado for $19 and 4 coffees at $4 each. Tim Gurner harumphed per CNN Money. So he says this, and it raised an outrage because people are like, first of all, what's smashed avocado? So it's like avocado spread on toast. And people are like, it doesn't cost $19 to get avocado on toast. So the New York Times did some fact checking. It didn't turn out well for this millionaire Gurner. It said the millennials are no more likely to spend on travel and dining than any other generation. And it would take a serious amount of avocado toast to put a dent in any of those down payments. Time Magazine took it a step further, created an online calculator of how many pieces of toast you would have to give up to be able to afford your dream home. In Orlando, you'd have to give up 5,000 pieces of that smashed avocado toast. Oh. Anyhow, it just continued and continued. The backlash has been furious. And finally, a millennial responded and said, I'd much rather prefer to eat avocado on toast while sharing an apartment with 10 mates. If having money in 5 houses turns me into a smarmy rich dude, I don't even know what a smarmy rich dude is. That lectures my generation on how cool it could be to be a smarmy rich dude, then enough is enough. Anyhow, I thought it was very interesting because, one, I think we give millennials a hard time, and I think they're allowed to
I
spend.
know you are a millennial.
You tell me this every time, and I understand that by definition I am, but also I am too cheap to buy avocado toast. So I think, but you would buy avocado toast.
I feel like the main story is here. This poor millionaire is getting ripped off on avocados. He's paying $17 for a half an avocado, enough to spread on toast.
Right.
Like that, so that's like $24 for per avocado. That's like 24 times more than I pay for an avocado. Like they're like $1. It's not that big a deal. Yeah.
Right. Even if they're making their own bread at the restaurant and really going for it, we can't break $10 on avocado toast. There's just no way a restaurant's going to do that. And $4 per cup of coffee feels cheap to me.
Oh, does it?
Right. I've spent more than that.
Oh, you get the rainbow unicorn one.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
A double grande rainbow
It's
unicorn.
like a Slurpee. Yeah.
A double grande is actually they just give you 2 grandes because they don't have one cup to hold all that I need.
Hey, enjoy them now because when The Rock is in the White House, those are going to be a thing of the past. Those are going to be threats.
That's going to be what he's going to run on.
I just wanted to say to all my co-millennials, you're doing a great job. It's okay. You can spend money differently than the Gen Xers and you're still going to make it. Or you're not. Either way, who cares? The Rock's going to be the president.
Are we sleeping on a gold mine here? Should we be buying avocados and selling them to millionaires for a huge
I think you hit kind of the subplot of the story.
I feel like I don't know. I don't buy a lot of avocados, but I feel like this could be our ticket.
Right.
You know that guy, the guy who does sell him, like like this guy came to his house one day selling avocados, and has just been a racket. This guy's been going. He's been marking up avocados by 15,000%. He's the real loser in this situation. The guy that is behind the avocado scam here.
The only real point that this story makes that kind of bothers me, there does feel like there's a lot of millennial bashing, and maybe that's just every generation does this to the next generation. But I'm like, millennials are doing great. They're going to figure out how to buy a house or not buy a house. Maybe it's not important, but it's like enough of these.
Yeah.
I think that was sort of like what the moment was in this story was a pushback of like, no.
And too, I mean, it can be legitimately said. So he or other generations would say that a quality life, a life that he was pursuing, would have the stability of a home that he owns, or having no debt, or whatever. And that another generation who says, well, that's not what I aspire to. I want flexibility, or I want quality food, or I want new experiences, and that's what they find pleasure from. Just the fact, I mean, to each his own, I mean, if like you want to live in a small town and have a lot of land and live like maybe reclusively, fine, great. And if somebody else wants to live in a city and be around people and hustle and bustle, okay, why can't we all just get along?
That's right. Buying a house is not, and I know that it's speaking to more than like, he's basically saying, I wish they'd stop whining about being broke but at the same time, they're buying like all of this expensive. I just don't think that's like.
I don't know that they're whining about being broke, to be honest with you.
It's a value. Yeah.
I mean, if they wanted stable income, there are jobs available. But they are choosing not to go work at the post office with a pension. They're choosing to be a freelance photographer. And you're broke, but hey. You had an option, and it's like cool.
Right.
I mean,
right? And that kid said, like, he was like, I'd rather live with 10 of my friends and have the flexibility. And it's like, exactly.
In this season of your life, that is what you want.
And that's
then
great.
In another season, maybe there's wives and kids and other things. Maybe you want something else.
That's right.
Okay,
whatever you want.
Yeah, and if you want,
it's like, look, not all of my peers are real estate moguls, but we're not the ones getting comically ripped off by on our avocado purchases.
Yeah, and also back off of the avocado hating. Avocados are the best.
Who hates avocados? Just this one smarmy rich guy?
This guy, if anything, he loves avocados so much that he's willing to pay an insane amount of money for them.
Yeah. Jerry Douglas doesn't like avocados, apparently.
Yeah, no.
John David, you don't like avocados?
I do not.
Why?
I don't like the way they taste.
I need you out of this studio. You get out of here.
John David, do you own your own house?
I do.
Ooh,
oh, you're a smarmy rich guy.
I am.
Wow. Okay.
Well, if old John David Rockefeller over there wandered into the grocery store and saw one that cost $17, I'm sure he'd buy it because that's a luxury he can't not have in his life. That's the real
avocados
story
were good
here.
enough for His Majesty. The royal palate can't take any of the so-called taste of these avocados that the peasants are
JD's
eating.
been getting boxes of pure marshmallow Lucky Charms delivered to his house for years. He lives in a class we don't even know about.
All right, what do you have, Tyler?
Okay, well, speaking of avocado, I didn't mean to bring another food slice, but I think this one is interesting.
All three of them have been about food, essentially.
well, hang on.
At least this one is interesting.
As you guys may have seen, Apple is building a new office spaceship type situation out in California.
Oh yeah,
costs $5 billion. It's obviously going to be I'm sure a fine establishment full of all sorts of cutting edge technology. But in the midst of putting all this together, a bunch of Apple patents have popped up. Some internet sleuths have been combing over them. And one that they've found, which was actually patented all the way back in 2010, but has not dropped on the market yet, unfortunately, is a circular device with a hinge in the middle of it. It is Apple's custom patented pizza box. They, back in 2010, and apparently this was one of Steve Jobs' design. This was a pet project of his. They have this hinged, technologically astute, cutting edge box with rings on it that keeps the pizza from getting too soggy and keeps it hot without while it's all using renewable materials in it. And although it hasn't been released on the market yet, Apple did not deny that they may be releasing it for sale in the near future. So my question to you guys is, A, is this something that you would find useful? And B, how much would you be willing to pay for an Apple pizza box?
Wait, so it's a reusable one? It's not
It's reusable.
It's not like when you order from Domino's, it's going to show up in this thing. It's something you
don't
keep
throw it away.
You keep it at your house.
If it's like every other Apple product, I absolutely don't think I need it. We'll certainly buy it.
I'll wait in line for it.
It's way too much money.
It's going to be life-changing.
Yeah, it's definitely way too much money, and I will definitely pay that money.
Right. What else can it do?
That's the thing.
What
I
can't
wanted
it
it
do?
to be more. I thought, Steve Jobs, this guy created the iPod, and he created this thing before the iPhone. But it doesn't, I could send you guys a picture. I can send you guys a link to it, but it really is just a box for pizza, but it's designed in the really aesthetically pleasing Apple type way. It's a very clean design, obviously. And there's rings along the bottom that are apparently what keep the pizza hot and fresh and get the crust from getting too soggy, so you can pop it in the microwave if you can have one of those microwaves. Oh, cool. It's what they use on the new Apple campus. They'll have a bunch of them.
Well, here's what I love about this story is that there is some guy or woman that got hired at Apple, and some engineer, one of the world's most brilliant minds. And on their first day, they got there. They're like, okay, we have a really top secret project for you. And there's is it the iPhone? Is it the iPad? Is it, some new
car?
Apple TV device? They're like,
Yeah.
no, you're working in the pizza box division. like somebody's job was to work at Apple, and they got sent to go work on a high-tech pizza box.
Do you get the feeling that was probably a demotion? Like somebody got something wrong, and Steve Jobs was like, "Oh no, we're not going to fire you. We're not going to fire you. No."
They messed up a line of code, and they launched a pizza box division just for that dummy.
Yeah, because remember back in 2008, 9, 10, Apple employees would it would come out they would be testing in the real world the upcoming secret phone, and they would leave it at the bar.
Yeah,
remember, and it would get leaked.
Yeah.
It's that guy. That guy didn't get fired.
The person that left it at a bar.
Yeah. The guy, the idiot who leaked the iPhone by accident is the one who had to design the pizza box for next year. Yeah. This is
and then a year later, he comes to Jobs and he's like, "Hey, I think I got to figure it out." And Jobs was like, "You did that?" He thought it was a prank the whole time. He just wanted to see if the guy would actually do it.
You've been working on a pizza box for the last year? That was a joke, man.
It took you a year?
Yeah, it took you a year. Well, there you go. All right, coming back with a hot slice.
A very lunch. I ate my lunch.
See, that was a pun.
Now I kind of want pizza. I got a frozen pizza in the freezer.
It was a hot slice.
It was almost too good.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Rob Bell joins us.
I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Might have had your fill, I can feel it still. I'm a rebel just for kicks now. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now, I can feel it still. We could fight a war for peace.
You're listening to Portugal the Man. It's Feel It Still, but it's the Lido remix. That's why it was like familiar but new.
I could spend
It's a remix.
a week trying to understand any part of that sentence, and I never would.
Portugal the Man. Great album. Great band. This week's feature interview is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your jobs to find the best candidates? I can tell you, finding great talent can be tough.
Topical.
Yeah, very, very topical. Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, with ZipRecruiter, you can post your job to more than 100 job sites with just a single click. With their powerful technology efficiently matching the right people to your job, they do it better than anyone else. That's why ZipRecruiter is different. Unlike other job sites, they don't depend on candidates finding you. It just finds them. In fact, over 80% of jobs posted on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just 24 hours, and I can attest to that. I have posted openings on ZipRecruiter and got... I put one up only for a few days before we filled it, and I probably got more than 20 qualified candidates. It was actually...
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really great. And they were like local and great.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, you can find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by businesses of all sizes to find the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now, Relevant Podcast listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/relevant. That's ZipRecruiter.com/relevant. One more time, to try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/relevant. Author and former pastor Rob Bell is known for his provocative and sometimes controversial thoughts on God, faith, and the teachings of Jesus. And in his new book, What is the Bible? How an Ancient Library of Poems, Letters, and Stories Can Transform the Way You Think and Feel About Everything, Bell looks at the origins of Scripture and how we should think about it. We actually have a conversation with Rob in the current issue of Relevant, and I would say go read it. But part of the conversation that you didn't see in the magazine is what you're about to experience. Here is part of our conversation with Rob Bell.
Why this book, in the sense of why did you choose to approach a major project about the Bible?
Well, it's interesting. I often think I write books so I don't spontaneously combust, because there's like 4 or 5 or 6 of them rattling around in there at any one time. So this book actually started, I noticed that people, I don't live in a religious area, and I noticed how often people found the Bible fascinating who had never read it. I would start in on, because the Bible is in the cultural stream. David and Goliath, healing the blind man. I was blind, but now I see. Turn the other cheek. This stuff is just there. It's there in the cultural stream. And what I noticed in Los Angeles, living in an area that isn't conventionally religious, is how often my friends, I would say, oh, you know where that comes from? That's actually, there's this whole thing involving the Babylonians. And my friends who have never been to church are the ones who are like, dude, you should totally do this Bible stuff. It's so interesting and dangerous and provocative and hopeful. And I have a residency at Largo, which is this comedy music club here in West Hollywood. And I'll do a show, and it'll be like, underneath it all will be a biblical text. And so this was a couple of years ago. I thought I should try writing a book on Tumblr. I should just get all this stuff out. What if I just every day wrote a chapter and put it on Tumblr? So part of it was just an experiment. Because then if I did it for 3 months, at the end of 3 months, maybe I'd have it all out. It was almost like clearing RAM space. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Like if I just took all this stuff that I'm carrying around and got it out, I should try that. So I literally 2 or 3 days into posting a different chapter each day on Tumblr, the response was like electric. It was like nothing, like nothing I'd ever done. So I just kept going, and I ended up doing, I think, 75 chapters on Tumblr. It was like 102,000 words, which makes me laugh.
So what's the beginning of that 25 years? Are you referencing when you launched out into ministry, or is that when?
Yeah.
What's kind of the beginning of that story? Right.
I was in a band, and the band broke up like college bands do, because everybody has to get jobs.
Yeah.
And somewhere in there, I volunteered to give a sermon. And I'd never given a sermon. I didn't know how to give a sermon, but I did have some, you're supposed to say something about the Bible. Apparently that's what a sermon is. So I got a Bible and found some passages. I wasn't that familiar with the Bible, but there was something about standing up in a group of people and reading an ancient text and then unleashing it in the space that was like, oh, this is why I'm here. It was like a defining. I remember taking off my sandals because I was wearing Birkenstocks because I was aware it was an outdoor chapel area that I became aware that I was standing on holy ground and that my life would never be the same again. It literally was that night and day. And so then it was just, well, okay, so I guess you go to seminary. Is that what you do? And then I got a job in a church, and it's like your tribe, sort of for all of us, is like, this is how it's done. And then later you begin to realize, oh, there's other ways you could do it.
Sure.
But at the time, you're 19, 20, 21 years. Apparently this is how it works. And I was struck that when Jesus is asked a question, he usually responds with a question. Mm-hmm. So early on, that deeply shaped my understanding of the whole thing. That there is some sort of dance. There is some sort of back and forth. There is some sort of exploration at the heart of this, which is different than these are the 7 statements, now we defend them to our dying day. You know what I mean? There were these deep postures that I found in the scriptures that rang true. And away we went.
I'm reading through Exodus right now in this first part of the year, and you get to all these verses that aren't necessarily main points of the text or what's going on. It'll just be like this, in a list of things that are happening. It's like, and if the guy takes a second wife, and if this or that or the other, and you stop and think like, wait, what a second. If he took a second wife, all these things that come up that I guess were swept under the rug, or I don't know, and just not dealt with in the background. But you deal with some of that, especially in the earlier chapters of your book, and you kind of have these little episodes or reflections, I guess, even dealing with like Ehud and some of those odd or scandalous or even confusing, maybe gross stories, particularly the Old Testament. But you say there's more going on there than just, I guess, a collection of stories or a collection of just gross out stories. Can you talk about that a little bit? I mean, what's going on when we get to some of these confusing episodes?
Yeah, well, it's interesting to me how many people, when you ask them, when they're asked where were the Hebrew scriptures first compiled, lots of people who would say, oh, I know the Bible stories, I'm just not into that. Say, well, where was it edited together? Lots of people wouldn't know that, which is fairly basic, that the Hebrew scriptures were edited together in Babylon, and that in Babylon, this group of Jewish people had been hauled away into exile. So they're miles from home, and they've been on the receiving end of an extraordinary amount of violence at the hand of a global military superpower. So when they stitch together a number of poems and stories involving horrific violence, it's probably not because they're advocating for horrific violence. So many people read what's called the Old Testament, or more accurately, the Hebrew scriptures, and they're like, why is there all this violence? It's one of the answers is because the editors of these stories want you to see the futility of violence. So, you don't think to yourself, oh, obviously Quentin Tarantino thinks that the solution to every problem is violence.
Sure.
But you see a Quentin Tarantino film, in some ways you think, oh, he's spoofing on the ridiculous notion that violence can solve things.
Right.
So there's this whole level of subtlety and nuance. And I would argue like the Book of Judges, which is just Game of Thrones meets a David Cronenberg film.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would argue that that's the editor's point, is the editor is saying, have you noticed here that the violence isn't working? So you'll have people, or you'll have critics of the Bible saying, we don't believe in these ancient violent fairy tales. Well, neither do the people who wrote it. That's probably why they're writing it.
Right.
And then secondly, for so many people to come to see the Bible as reflecting of evolving human consciousness is such a more helpful lens through which to understand what's happening here. So when people are like, yeah, but they don't condemn polygamy. That's right, they don't. Nobody was condemning polygamy in the world at that time.
Mm-hmm.
This is how people saw the world. Well, I don't think God slaughtered all those children. I don't either. And the storyteller is telling you how they understood the world. So don't blame God for their lack of enlightenment. So I think God and religion and all these things get put on trial when it starts as a human book. And whatever divine you'll find because you first entered into the humanity of it. And that just frees you to actually read it. Otherwise, people are endlessly they're so on edge that they end up defending it before they've ever read it.
You have a whole chapter dedicated, and it's probably my favorite in the book, just to play my cards, I guess, about I'm trying to think of how you worded it, but you're dealing particularly with Americans and the Bible. It's something like Americans misunderstanding or getting in our own way of understanding the Bible. Why is that? Where do we get off on that track?
Right. Well, you begin with the Bible was written by a small minority of Jewish people who had been conquered by a succession of global military superpowers. So the Egyptians, the Persians, the Romans, the Babylonians, these people had been conquered and conquered again by whatever the biggest army of the day was. So if you, as an American in the 21st century, as a citizen of a global military superpower with the biggest army in the world, read this book, you might miss some of its central themes, because when it warns people about stockpiling chariots, it's warning them about you. I mean, America, we're 5% of the world's population, and we have 43% of its weapons or something. We are the giant global military superpower that goes around the world telling people how to do things. And the Bible is written by people who are on the other end of that. And so this book this library of books is so thoroughly political. And the idea that you would say, well, that's just political in the ancient world. Of course, what isn't? And obviously separation of church and state is necessary in our culture, but you have to understand that in the modern world, amassing drones and bombs and tanks and swords and who has what weapons, your neighbor could come across the border tomorrow and wipe you out forever. So these were pressing questions on everybody's minds, which the biblical writers are dealing with. So when the U.S., just a classic example would be the U.S. determining who can have nuclear bombs and who can't. And apparently Iran can have a program but cannot have bombs. But the U.S. is the one nation that actually has dropped nuclear bombs. The nation that actually dropped them on civilians is the one going around saying who can have them, who not. The rest of the world laughs at America. You arrogant bullies. But this is exactly the kind of language you find in the Bible. Who are you, Egypt? You Babylonians, Nebuchadnezzar, with your arrogance and pride. So I actually think you're going to see a resurgence just in the larger culture of the Bible, because people are going to realize these issues that we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Or you think about Bernie Sanders talking about how this system isn't working for lots of people. Roughly 41% of our wealth is held in the hands of less than 1% of the population. This system isn't working, and the Hebrew prophets, their fundamental premise was this system doesn't work for a number of people. And so I believe you're going to see a resurgence of these texts just in larger culture, because people are going to realize, oh, we've been here before. We have been here before. And there's actually some wisdom in history about how to think about this and how to deal with this, let alone fantastic poetry.
That was Rob Bell. Make sure to check out the rest of the conversation, the feature that we did with him in the current issue of Relevant. Up next, stay tuned, a preview of the Red Couch podcast.
We'd stop acting like it's nothing at all. In the first act, you're gone on the wall. The kick back into your shoulder is always hard to ignore. And if I'm on your side, I saw the way you close your eyes.
You're listening to Local Natives. The song is I Saw You Close Your Eyes. That's creepy.
Yeah, I don't like that idea.
Hey, that's what the guy said to his date at the movie theater.
Oh, no.
Like, I saw you close your eyes.
Get out of
Why
here.
don't you get out of here?
But wait a minute, you're my ride, right? So maybe just hang out for a few.
My mom is not even going to pick me up. What am I supposed to do?
You owe me $17.31.
Okay, so big news. Yeah, as you know, the last couple of weeks, we've been rolling out the launch of the Relevant Podcast Network.
Yes.
Shauna Nyquist had our first show, the Shauna Nyquist Show, which is going on now. Her first season is happening every Monday. A new episode is posted. She debuted as the number 8 podcast in the world on the overall iTunes charts, ahead of like Serial and stuff.
So I always go to check to see where the podcasts are, and like you have to start on the like all podcast page.
Yeah.
But I was like navigating to see how Shauna's was doing. And I just clicked on podcasts and like she was there on the front page and I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
that's usually reserved for Serial.
Yeah,
like,
that's usually,
It was actually over Serial. Her first couple days out of the gate, she was over Serial, which is insane.
It was incredible. And of course you listen to it and it's just wonderful.
And her second episode, which came out this past Monday, better than the first. And still better than Serial.
I did this past one is her most recent episode, which a lot of she'll have another one on Monday, but man, it is moving, like a story about infertility and adoption and Down syndrome, and that's the one thing about Shauna is like she is able to help people navigate their story in a way that is really moving and compelling, but then also it kind of has the fun food, faith, book talk that people love from her as well.
It's like watching Manchester by the Sea starring The Rock. It's like
everything.
It's the whole gamut.
It is everything. Yeah.
That's my Venn diagram of interest right there.
Well, the second show that we debuted as part of the Relevant Podcast Network is with our good friend, rapper, activist, Propaganda, who's been sitting in, kind of guest hosting the show with us off and on during the summer. He is part of the Relevant Podcast Network family, and this week he and his wife, Alma, debuted their podcast, the Red Couch Podcast with Propaganda and Alma.
And it is awesome.
Yeah. And they have like, the way they broke it down is like they have like 5 chapters or 5 segments within the show. And they cover everything from pop culture to, politics and what's happening in society. Like it's funny, it's moving, it's eye-opening. It's, man, and he holds nothing back too.
Yeah. And there's something about the fact that they're married having this dialogue that they
Love
deeply know each other's like where they're going, what's safe to talk about. They'll like go to place. They're just very deep.
And Alma, his wife, is a doctor, a university professor.
Oh yeah.
She's probably the most brilliant. One of the most brilliant people you would listen to on a podcast, frankly. And he's married to her, and so it's like, I mean, Prop is compelling and entertaining and insightful, and she's brilliant and insightful, and their chemistry and their banter is a blast to listen to. The show debuted this week on Wednesday, and a new episode will be going up on Wednesdays.
Yes,
and so that was a couple days ago. So a lot of you have already heard it, but in case you haven't, we wanted to make sure that our full Relevant podcast audience got the chance to experience the new show.
Honestly, I'm so glad you guys got that one up and going. It's just Propaganda is one of the best conversationalists, period, I've ever met in my life. I could just listen to that guy go on nonstop
I
4
agree,
hours
man.
at a time.
Dude, I totally agree.
Well, here's your chance, literally.
There you go.
Oh, I'm on it.
Here is your sneak peek, an excerpt of the debut episode of the Red Couch podcast with Propaganda and Alma.
So, news in the resistance. Our Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, he just announced a few weeks back that he was bringing back the war on drugs, which is a thing. We can get into that a little later. But that he was able to file MS-13 as a terrorist organization. Now, for background, if y'all don't know, if y'all not from the hood, MS-13 is a Latino street gang specifically from El Salvador.
I feel like people who are not from the hood know who MS-13 is.
Well, you ain't ran from them like Prop has.
Yeah, but they still know. I mean, it's an international gang.
It's an international gang. Now, why is this significant? Because his platform, Jeff Sessions' platform, is saying that like it's because of Obama's poor or weak immigration enforcement is why MS-13 was able to flourish in our country, right? And it's a terrorist organization. So I'm going to get into the problematic part of that part, but what that implies or the implications of that is, so now, as hard as we've been working towards community policing and demilitarizing our inner cities, if you file a street gang as a terrorist organization, then bringing in the army and militarizing the police is completely justifiable because you're dealing with a terrorist.
Yeah, it basically just gives them the okay to bring in militarized police into a regular neighborhood.
Yeah. So when we think it's just like a tank is ridiculous. Like it's not if the street gang is a terrorist organization. Now, getting back to the problematicness of that. I grew up in LA, and if you're going to say in its rudimentary definition of being terrorizing, yes, you're absolutely correct.
Yes.
I ran from these dudes often. Now, but a terrorist organization has a nationalistic tone, and that nationalism is not our nation. Here's the problem with Jeff Sessions' logic is that, first of all, MS-13 wasn't started in El Salvador. It was started in MacArthur Park in LA. And it was started well before Obama was our president, right? It's a street gang. It just happens to have ethnic ties because the El Salvadorian population in that city was trying to find some sort of solidarity among each other.
Right.
Sure. I'm just saying, this is just know your history, your LA history at least, right? So, but if you do this, then things like the gang junkins, the stop and frisk, the street sweeping, all the stuff that some of us inner city black kids grew up with, getting thrown, specifically that stop and frisk thing, man, that was like, that felt like terrorizing, right? When you just walking home from school at any moment.
It wasn't worse than it is or it has been in New York, though. I think they've gotten it.
New York got it the worst.
It actually was a policy stop and frisk.
Yeah.
That's what it was called,
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't mean that like just because we didn't have policy in LA though, that was definitely what was happening too.
Yeah. The implications of this step and its racial undertones are almost endless, right? So you tie that to just the police chief in Los Angeles just elevated this or tried to reinstitute or re-highlight this concept of de-escalation when it comes to like interactions with the community, right? And the some of the tenets they brought up was this concept of time and space, right? So if you're in a situation, give the situation some time, give y'all some space, and you don't have to feel froggy, right? The only problem was those things were not specifically laid out. So if there's no actual specifics in that policy,
there was no actual training.
There's no actual training
policy. Yeah, hey, do this.
Hey, make sure you do that.
Yeah.
So that means it's ambiguous. It's up to interpretation,
right?
Which really means we haven't gone anywhere. Like that doesn't help us at all, right? And whoever gets to decide whether this person actually practiced de-escalation practices guess what? Is the police commission. So they're still having self oversight. And we just recently had a case where a young man, but he was shot in Slauson at the at the gas station, or not at the gas, at the liquor store. Right, their case he was deemed like within protocol. Like, I mean, kid got shot in his back. Like, I just don't know how.
And that was de-escalating.
That was de-escalating in some way, shape, or form. So, like, for all that to come out the same day, right? And then you can like try to draw this. This is what we mean by like, yo, you got to stay awake, right? This woke is like a phrase, but like, this is what we mean by this. You can draw a line from that to this kid Jordan Edwards, right, in Dallas. That which side note about the Dallas Police Department. They have always been heads up.
I know. I was very surprised about that.
Yeah, they fired that dude.
Yeah, they fired him immediately, and I was like, wow, okay.
And then last year when they had like when they had the Black Lives Matter march, and then the dude went crazy and shot the officer. At the time, though, right, from the little girl in McKinney that was like thrown around by the cop at that pool party, right?
Yeah,
you had officers and citizens marching together. You had their police chief standing up and saying, we're not going to stand for this. This is on our watch. We have a horrible history of racist practices. It's going to end. Right. So that's why you didn't see the type of like rioting that you saw everybody else, because you saw a police chief that was like, yo, this is not acceptable. Right.
Yeah.
And why, when that officer was shot, the community was like, nah, dude, that's wrong. Like, one of the good ones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like such a complicated, like, just topic. Obviously, it's never okay to kill another human being, no matter what their credentials or lack thereof are.
Yeah.
But one of the things that like I think recently I've been, or not one of the things that I've been thinking about is like the people that become police officers, like the age at which they become officers most of the time is like such a young age, like 18 to 21-year-olds pursuing this.
Yeah.
Like some of them, I mean, I think now it's very common for them to have had a bachelor's degree at least. But like, if we know anything from university teaching or in our K through 12 education, is that there is nothing, programmatically addressing those social issues to make them even aware that they may have some kind of bias or privilege.
Yeah.
And so they're these kids coming into the force, and all they want to do is probably do a good job, and like scared as heck that they're in any encounter, because the first encounter they have with a black person is probably this person they're pulling over. And it's just like all kinds of like problematic things about that.
Yeah. My brother is a California Highway Patrol officer. My dad worked in the LA County Probation, retired from the probation department, worked in the special handling unit. These are phenomenal men. But when they got hired, you had to have a bachelor's. You had to go through a certain amount of training that was like, and they're black men. So like, as being black men, they have a different understanding of the society around them. Right.
Yeah.
But even now, like, which is, again, guys, this is why we say you got to stay awake. Like, follow me. Like, there are a number of police recruiting videos that are like, they're just SWAT videos. So you get this kid that's like, yeah, I want to shoot guns because the bad guys, right? Well, yeah, like, you join the police, you could take them down, right? So it's just this, like, it's like you're recruiting the wrong dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
but then again, like, the people that I feel like the people that do need to become cops or should be becoming cops, we should be gearing like young people to become cops too and see themselves
from
in that
the
role.
city.
But they don't want to, because that's who they're seeing as cops is treating them mad shady. So like they don't want to become the face of that.
No, why would I want to be a part of this? Like, I've been harassed by these fools all the time. So like,
it's just so many like problematic things about the recruiting, like the training. I mean, from the little that I know, maybe we could like become more informed on that, but just the training, like there isn't a lot of training around cultural sensitivity.
That's by department, because there's some departments. Long Beach, where we live, like has been touted as like one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Unity policing and racial sensitivity. Like, so that's why you don't see a lot of the same.
I just wonder how much of it is like they versus us versus them. still, even in that training,
Even
because you can do sensitivity training, like tolerance training. Like, yeah, I could tolerate people, but like,
that doesn't mean you're one of us.
Yeah, like, okay, them, it's still them,
Still us,
you know. So I don't know. It's just so many things that this could lead us into different trails about.
You know, and there's also like a financial component, especially with the militarization of the police.
And privatization
Of
Yeah.
it. When the government, the federal government, gets an account to like purchase weapons for war, once they're done, you just have a stockpile of stuff. What are you going to do? We got to get our money back somehow. So the federal government sells it to local law enforcement because you got to try to make your money back, right? So there's such a financial incentive to keeping keeping these weapons, which are just like I just can't think of any, unless like Russia does finally attack us. I can't think of any reason any of us need like an automatic like assault rifle. Like, you don't need a Uzi. Like, I just can't think of like, is the entirety of the Crip gang coming into my, like, all of the Crips? Are they coming into my house right now? Like,
yes, they are, because of your red couch.
Bang banging.
And I think, you kind of bring up a good point about that, because I feel like there is a very reactive approach in discipline and injustice in our country, that we could definitely be creating more proactive approaches instead, like getting to know the community, getting to the root causes of why like this crime occurs in this particular city, and like how can we alleviate the root cause so that there isn't crime, and
that's a lot of your work.
My dissertation actually kind of focused on that on a school level. Like, how do you, because safety is a real thing, right? Like, we want to feel safe. We want safety. We want to create a safe environment, safe neighborhood, safe school, safe nation. But the question is, at what cost? Like, are we gonna militarize so that we can create that safety, which in itself seems like, I just feel really unsafe that there's like these, militant police around me. Like, that doesn't make me feel real safe. Like, what's going down? Like, should I be, like finding shelter right now? What's happening? Versus like really getting at the root of, what are we feeling fearful of? Like, what is the actual source of and root of fear and sense of unsafety? Is it stemming from just, not having enough food, like food, what's that word?
Scarcity.
Food security. Like, is it a lack of food security? Like, what is it that's creating just a sense of like fear or not having safety? And so like I looked at that from like a more like a school perspective. Like, how do us, like people, educators, think about safety for our children? Do we think about it as a reactive way to address it, or a proactive way to address it from a restorative justice perspective? And so obviously I advocate a more restorative, disciplinary, and judicial system, because it actually gets to the root of like why people become victims, like, and what would alleviate that victim from whatever tragedy happened, like, to feel better, like focusing on the victim rather than the offender as like the true victim, right? Because that's who's the true victim, the actual person that got that
the crime
an injustice
was committed to.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but instead we just get so focused on like what was done, like the perpetrator, and how we must make them like pay for what they did, either with their lives or, max sentencing or whatever, when instead we could be looking at very proactive ways of like addressing their crime still, but like that is actually benefiting society in some way, or even that family that was afflicted by that crime, and there's been models of restorative justice all the way from like someone who killed a family member of another family and like paying restitution through their incarceration and meeting and apologizing and just kind of getting to the humanity of like why this happened, and
Is that the story where like the dude you killed our main breadwinner, so like now, like for the rest of your life, like financially support us?
Yeah, I'm sure there's like various examples of
one
it.
story of that.
Yeah, but I might have been that one. But either way, like that person needs to pay off to the actual victims, like some kind of restitution, and then asking the victims themselves, like, yo, what would actually make you feel better right now?
What could make this better?
What would make this better? If we actually had implemented that, we could actually get to the root of like why so many Black lives are being lost. Like the fact that like, dude, like you were prejudiced against us. Like what would make me feel better is if you freaking fix the system because it's mad skewed against us. Okay, let's look into that.
Yeah. That was the Red Couch Podcast. Hey, go on iTunes, subscribe, get it.
Yes. Everywhere you find relevant, you'll figure out where to subscribe.
Yeah. Anywhere you like podcasts, you can do it.
It's very easy.
But like, I think it's like 73% of all podcasts are listened to through iTunes.
Yeah.
And
No,
so
I was saying like all of the relevant feeds, anywhere you interact with relevant, you'll find the Red Couch. And
Yeah, absolutely. If you go over to iTunes and subscribe there, it obviously pushes it up the charts. If you leave a review, it helps other people find it and get that content more visible. So go check it out at iTunes today. You're listening to Gold Myth. The song is Lover's Letdown. That was my high school nickname.
But I brought you to the movies.
That's right.
I brought you to see The Little Rascals in 3D.
I sprung for IMAX. I saw you close your eyes.
I mean, technically you brought me, but still.
My mom is
And I borrowed the 17 from you, expecting to pay it back. We'll let the courts decide who's owed money.
Lovers Letdown.
I submit to you, President Rock.
Gold Myth, Lovers Letdown. There you go. Okay, well, it's time for your feedback. Last week, the question of the week, we asked you. It's summer, It's people are, college kids are getting out of school. People with kids, they're getting out of school, and people are thinking about summer vacation plans. We wanted to know your best or funniest or weirdest vacation stories. You guys went over to the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com, posted them there. You also hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast. Here are a few of our favorites.
Katie McDonald said that her parents, she was being disobedient. And so for punishment, her parents sent her on a month-long mission trip to Scotland. So as a disobedient child, they felt like the best thing they could do is force her to become a missionary for a month. She immediately refused to learn the 4 spiritual laws, and she had to do dish duty the entire trip. So it just forcing someone into missions work because they are not behaving well seems ill-advised, but it didn't turn out for a great vacation.
Go minister to others.
Adam White said that on a vacation to Greece, his family attended a Greek Orthodox church service with the grandmother who was hosting us. Upon entering the church, the grandmother promptly kissed the picture of Jesus, which is evidently, something that she did there. As an impressionable 8-year-old, young Adam followed suit, much to the hilarity of his very evangelical family.
So Josh wrote that when he was 10, he got one of those triptychs. Remember what those are?
Yeah.
Man, I love those. AAA, you'd go in.
Yeah.
He said he got his mail order, but you used to go in and there would be this wall of little tiny map segments, and you'd say, I'm driving from, Tampa, Florida to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And they would...
Well, you get on 75 and just go. You don't need a triptych.
That's
for that.
what they would say to you. Yeah. They would just look at you and go, I'm not pulling
There's
maps.
one road that connects these two cities directly.
But they would pull maps from all over,
put them together in a little binder.
And then they would stamp. They just knew it. They would say lots of traffic here, construction here. It was
and they would take a yellow highlighter and highlight the route, and then
cool.
so you knew. Yeah,
it was. And when you were in the car, bored as a kid, you would just flip it to the next one, and then you could unfold it and read all about the segment of the map.
Stops and things to do, restaurants or AAA approved motels.
Josh said, well, one summer when I was 10 years old, my grandfather and I drove from Connecticut to a massive air show in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, which If you know anything about Oshkosh, Wisconsin, you know that the air show is massive.
It's a brouhaha.
Can I say that I went to Oshkosh one time and it is a lovely town. I seriously was like shocked.
Everybody wears the cutest overalls. It's just
you get a free pair of overalls just from
they're
going through.
about 15 sizes too small, but they're very nice.
Darn it if they're not cute.
They come with a little slingshot in the back pocket. It is adorable.
So Josh's grandfather is driving, and Josh, 10-year-old Josh, was reading him the triptych, except that when we were approaching Detroit and the triptych drove us into a questionable downtown neighborhood, my grandfather stopped to ask for directions at a gas station and told the gas station attendant that it was my fault. So grandfather, who sounds just like a gem of a man, is, and I'm sorry, Josh, to disparage what must be your dead grandfather, but at 10 years old, he's throwing sweet little Josh under the bus. And the gas attendant then agreed with him. So Josh at 10 is on his way to a massive air show
Public
at Oshkosh. And just gets publicly
shamed
shamed
in front of a gas station attendant.
My goodness.
No one thought to blame
Detroit.
No one thought to blame the triptych. Needless to say, I have and will never buy a AAA membership. Thanks, AAA. You made me a Waze user for life. So Josh is still going through a lot of pain, and I just want to say to Josh, we hear you.
Yeah.
We are with you. We feel like the pain that you're hurting, and we see you.
Yeah, we see you.
I don't know.
Right?
Hang on. He didn't. Did he read the triptych directions correctly?
I still think Grandpa was teaching him a valuable lesson.
And he is 10. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, maybe Grandpa, you could be an adult in a situation and just double check that maybe the 10-year-old isn't a navigator.
Russell had one that's unrelated to the question week, but I feel that I should address. He thinks he's found a co-host or excellent host for our unicycle podcast, the Unicast, that we've discussed last week.
Right.
He found a gentleman named Don B, who rides unicycles professionally, as well as juggles, does magic, and spins plate. He once opened for Toby Mac. And he left a link to Don B's Facebook page, and his cover photo is Mr. B with holding two oranges over his eyes, making a hilarious face with one orange shoved under his chin. I'm in, Russell. You connect me with Don, and let's get this thing off the ground.
You pack up the youth group in the van, you get the triptych out, you're going on down, you go into the big Toby Mac show, all the kids are excited, and then you show up and a dude in a unicycle is the opening act.
Yeah, and you're like, well, this is way better than I thought. I love this.
This is way better than X-29.
Yeah,
or whatever
and Toby's just
generic Christian opening band would have been.
Right.
Yeah,
I regret to inform you that I've dug a little bit into Don B's Facebook. I've gone pretty deep.
And all of your accountability alerts have been going on and off.
I think Mr. B looks like a really kind person. He's obviously got a lot of talent. There is a photo of him in a car in which this is just literally true. He's the only non-clown in the car. that is being driven. Everybody else is in full clown regalia, and that feels like a red flag.
Is he like the designated driver? Like
he's not even driving. My man Don is the passenger in this situation.
Oh, wow. Hey guys, can you pick me up on the way to the movie theater?
Which means the guy driving has gigantic oversized shoes, which is not safe.
It doesn't seem safe.
Seems like Don's putting himself in pretty dangerous. Not only does he ride unicycles professionally, but he's willing to put himself in obviously a very reckless situation in this van with the clown.
I would listen to that podcast where he told me the clown story.
Real wild card.
Do you think that Toby just ran around him while he was juggling and told everybody like, "Hey, what's up? Stand up," while he actually did the work of entertaining?
Yo, what?
Yeah.
He'd be like the hype man for Don B.
Don's like the talent, and
Toby's
like
the hype man
running around.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how it went.
Just speaking of unicycles real quick, this is an entryway into something I just need to throw out there and get y'all's feedback on. This weekend, I took my family to a part of town that just sort of had a grand opening with a bunch of restaurants and all that kind of stuff, And as part of the festivities, they had a unicycler there. And so I was sitting there watching the unicycle, enjoying him, riding around, taking notes and all that. And I noticed that one of the new restaurants that had opened is a fine dining restaurant. With Guy Fieri's name. It's Guy Fieri's Smokehouse.
You got to get there.
Okay, this is a very large establishment. It was packed. It was Mother's Day, and the line was it was out the door. People were dying to get in. I am thinking that I want to start protesting Guy Fieri's restaurant in my hometown and try to get this thing shut down. My goal is to get on local news, and I am going to have posters that says that we don't want donkey sauce in our waters. We don't want Guy Fieri's presence here. My goal is to go out there and protest every evening just to see if I can get on the news to bring Guy Fieri's restaurant. He's not welcome here.
I just think it's funny. I just think, and very illuminating about the Virginia Beach culinary scene, that you said then setting up your little thing, that it was a fine dining restaurant, Guy Fieri's Smokehouse.
That's what I'm saying. It was in Norfolk, not Virginia Beach. But all that to say is, I looked at it. And I'm like, well, that looks like a nice. I didn't go in, but this wasn't like. Well, when I picture Guy Fieri, I'm picturing like cheeseburgers or.
So you're saying it was actually a nice restaurant?
It was baffling to me, and it doesn't belong here, is what I'm trying to say. I agree with you. I agree with you that I want no part of this, and the only way is for me to organize and get protesters out there marching every night and see if we can drive them on out. Go to the next city. Not welcome here.
I like that we were all pretty silent during that because it's not a bit. It's like, all right, well,
I want to be on local news, and I want them to do the interview where I have protesters marching behind me and I explain our calls. That's my goal, and our goal is to get Fieri out of this town.
Seems par for the course.
I would say this part of the country is not a fan of frosted tips any longer. So,
Jesse, I'm not sure when you came up with the line "no donkey sauce in our water." I'm not sure if that was on the fly or you had kind of had that in your pocket waiting, but it was very.
It's on a wharf. It's on a wharf.
It's
so
very.
Oh, okay. So there's an actual risk if there was a donkey sauce spill.
If there was a spillage,
that it would go into the.
I just want to affirm that was a very funny joke.
Thank you. I mean, we're talking like a health hazard here, in my opinion. A barrel of that stuff falls off the pier. The whole waterways.
Yeah, it's a Boston Tea Party situation. It's dangerous. Yeah.
Okay, and here's the other thing: is one of the world's largest naval bases is right down the water. You can see it. We're talking national security risk here. You want those quantity of donkey sauce next to a military institution? No, this is bad news.
Diners, drive-ins, and dangerous.
Just get in there and swallow it all whole. Drink the ocean until the donkey sauce is cleansed from it completely.
But there's only one solution to make sure that this donkey sauce doesn't end up in the water. So have the Rock come down here, and consume all of it in one sitting.
All right, that'll do it for last week's feedback. There's a lot more. Go check it out. It's time for this week's
editorial question of the week. Hey.
All right. Well, we spent quite a bit of time talking about our inevitable future president, The Rock, and his probable platform about trying to bring health and whey protein to America's waterways and stuff. We want to know what other completely unqualified celebrities you could see as potential future presidents.
And that would ever happen.
And also what platforms you would see them running on. So hit us up on Twitter @Relevant Podcast, or you can post your more robust replies on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com.
But I will not read those because they're so boring.
So future unqualified celebrity presidential candidates, running mates, and platforms. That's what we want.
Give it all to us.
That shouldn't be taken to mean that we think The Rock is unqualified, by the way. No. That is not the official stance of this podcast, or at least not of all the members on it.
He is Reagan-esque.
He is overqualified. That's his problem.
Yeah, that's right.
He would be too good a president.
Right.
Like, we can't handle him.
I think that's the danger, is that he would be too good at the job.
I think if there's a way that by the time he's ready to enter politics, if we could just make him president of the world or King Rock or something, I think he needs to be handling more than one country.
It's like we want The Rock, but we deserve John Cena. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the world we live in right now.
Yeah.
That's a whole podcast to itself.
His health initiative, his health campaign, when he acquires or dismantles the FDA. It's already gotten its slogan. It's written. Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
It's done.
It's done.
It is done.
It's already there.
Turning the FDA into a GNC. That was a really clever one.
Yeah,
he makes a home cooked meal for every family in America every night of his presidency.
That's my promise to you.
That's how he solves childhood obesity.
Yeah, he bought HelloFresh. He is HelloFresh.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen, in real talk, The Rock one time released his daily diet?
I did.
The guy eats 12 pounds of fish a day. You know, I mean, he's on a next level. I think we would become a very fish-based economy.
It would be like a Jesus loaves and fishes situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow his 12 pounds of fish is enough to feed the entire nation.
Oh, now you're getting into Rob Bell territory. Be careful. Be careful,
You just
Cameron.
wake up in the morning, sitting there by your bed. He leaves it at night like Santa Claus. It's hand-tied, a little handwritten note. Hey, Tyler, you're doing great this week, buddy. Really proud of all the work you pulled up. Here's today's 3 meals. That's it.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. It's weird at first. You get used to it.
That do not say, hey, Aaron, maybe back off the lawsuit. Here's your fish.
Yeah.
Exactly. Advice.
Well, there's only one solution because there's not enough fish in the sea for all of us to be on the rocks eating plan. I think he will bring in such a time of world peace because who's going to mess with the rock?
Right.
He converts the Pentagon, one of the world's largest building, into a giant aquarium full of delicious tilapia.
Well, and because we're living in peaceful times, he recharters the Navy to go out and just acquire
fishing boats.
They turn into fishing boats.
Yeah. I literally love this whole idea.
Yeah.
I love his presidency, and I love everything.
And I like that when he leaves the food for you at night, each night, he writes you a little note, a little constructive, it helps guide you in the day to day.
He is exhausted by the next day, but a promise is a promise.
He's not exhausted. He still makes his 6 a.m. shoot every morning.
Make America jacked again.
Hello Fresh. That's their campaign buttons. All right. Many thanks to our show sponsors for making this episode possible. Remember, you can start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter offer code RELEVANT to get 10% off your first purchase. Also, if you have a job to post, go over to ziprecruiter.com/relevant to try it out for free. You'll be surprised how many candidates you get. I can tell you. Shocked.
Get ready.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Also, thanks to our guests for joining us. Rob Bell's new book is called What is the Bible? And it is out now. Go check that out, and also check out the feature that we have with him in the new issue of Relevant. You can also read that online if you go. I was watching the live analytics last night, and like 60% of the people at our site yesterday, and when I was looking at the live analytics, were reading the Rob Bell article from the magazine.
Yeah.
Make sure to also go over to iTunes or wherever you subscribe to podcasts and subscribe to the Red Couch podcast with Propaganda and Alma. It is available now, and I'd love to see it shoot up the charts. It's a great show.
It is great.
Hey, while you're there subscribing to Prop Show, if you like our show, leave us a review. It'll help people see it. And I didn't realize that I've learned a lot about all the iTunes rankings things lately, and the reviews make a difference. It's interesting.
Huge difference.
Yeah. We have hundreds of them, but it's about the fresh reviews.
Yeah, it's like an aggregated recipe.
Yeah. It's about the new activity around your show.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. With that, we'll wrap things up. I am Cameron Strang.
I'm Eddie Koffoltz.
John David Snavely.
I'm Jesse Carey.
And I'm Tyler Huckabee.
For Chandler, get better, buddy.
And for Chad, I think.
And for Chad.
I just love that guy.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
You went to visit, she stopped you at the door. Thought she'd be excited cause she used to always ask for more. She took you out, were you surprised that her friends love to talk but they never look you in the eyes? I thought you were different, I thought you were cool, but it ain't right. The heart of a stone, the mask of a
I feel like the main story is here. This poor millionaire is getting ripped off on avocados.